Namaste, beautiful family of light on Facebook Live as well as on Zoom, as we will shortly get started with the Anchoring Light transmission meditation transmission, which has been taking place for over 18 years. Can't believe it, every week without fail, going into its 19th year. So, there is something I really would like to talk about. And whenever this comes into your Facebook feed, feel free to get in contact or go onto our Facebook page, cosmiccenterspirituallight.com. You would look for the Anchoring Light Transmission Meditation with Baba Sharon, and you will see where you can register so you can participate in the actual transmission meditation itself. Okay, but what we do now is we do what I call the cosmic chat. We've always had a chat from the very beginning before with a group of us here together. So we actually do continue that tradition. So there is something I want to talk to everybody about that I think is very important and very relevant. And I'm going to tell you an experience that I had recently. This is about a week and a half ago. And what happened, some of you may know this, my body got sick with this strain of COVID, and it was very virulent. It was very, very virulent. And I'm very grateful. I have good health, and generally my immune system is very strong. But I did bring down my immune system because I was traveling and I did a lot of things. I wasn't balanced, and so oops, open for an invasion of this particular pathogen. But also what happened with that is that gave way, without going into a whole bunch of details, to pneumonia, which I'm like, what? Pneumonia? It's not even in my vocabulary. So suffice to say that my body wasn't feeling well. I'm fine. And if you notice how I talk, it's not me that is sick, it's the body, my avatar, that was sick. So I thank goodness from my higher self, I got the guidance to know that, hey, this is pneumonia. So that made me make the step as opposed to just doing my regular herbal remedies to go to the doctor. I got some antibiotics, switched it right away. And my higher self had talked about doing Irish moss, which I know about from my mother, find out it's available here. And if anybody has a lung issue, I would tell you Irish moss will get that cleared up for you, as well as a lot of other things that are on there. But this is what I want to talk about. So during this time, and I realized I'd even make the connection that this was connected to this pathogen, to this virus. My body was tired. I'm like, wow, I'm tired, and got weak. So it was really, I would say, I was impacted quite a bit. When I was impacted, my body not feeling well, I felt the energy come in. I could say it was like a mist, maybe. It was a very specific energy. And, we can start to tune in, fine tune to where we become very aware of the subtle energies that are around us. It's like a spiritual muscle. And so, one of the things you start doing is not ignoring certain sensations or feelings or thoughts. You make note of that. And each time you do, it strengthens your spiritual muscle to become more aware of energetics. And so, I felt this energy come over me like a mist, and it was an energy of depression. I was fine before, not feeling well, but it was a very visceral experience of like a cloud of depression. Depression came over me. Immediately, I could feel my body going down, my thoughts going down, and just this energy that was pulling me down into this entropy. Thoughts started coming into my head, that were not uplifting, I'm not feeling well, and, the world, and all of this stuff started to come by. And then, which is why I want to talk about how important it is to have the connection with your higher self. Okay, I'm experiencing down here this cloudy depression that's coming over me now. And my higher self, thought forms coming in my mind from a higher place, said to me, you understand that your body is vulnerable right now because it's not feeling well. It's under attack with these pathogens. Okay. So your body is doing this battle, is bringing your energy down. And this energy that's coming in, which is a lower frequency, okay, is moving in because you're vulnerable at this moment. You're vulnerable at this moment. What was a blessing was that there was a higher part of myself that explained what was going on in this thing and said, this force or this darker energy or this energy of depression that's coming in is an opportunist because you are now vulnerable, and to understand what that is and not to buy into it. So again, do we have a higher self, or the over self is called many names? Yes, we do. And the more we strengthen that, the more direct communication comes in directly, like, hey, you got pneumonia. Hey, get some Irish moss. Hey, you should go to the doctor. Hey, you have this depression coming over you. Understand what that is, not to get sucked into it. So while this was happening, there's this higher part of myself that is saying that almost like from an intellectual perspective, this is going to pass. This is an energy that's just coming in now because your physical body is at a lower point and it's an easier point of entrance to get through. But if you are aware of what's going on and not get sucked into it, then you actually have more control to say, well, I understand what this is, but I'm not going to fall into it. I know this is temporary and it's going to pass. And that's exactly what I thought to myself. Even as I felt this heaviness come over me, and it wasn't of my own making. It's just like there are energies that are out there. There's two different agendas. Are we in a spiritual war? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And when you become aware of that, what you're going to do is not fall for the traps, not fall to the traps. But I would like to suggest that as you walk your spiritual path, as you fine tune, as you make that connection to your higher self, as you go ahead and strengthen your ability to sense energy or to know energy or trust the intuition that comes to you directly from this higher source of who you are and what that higher source is connected to, this is where the divine guidance comes in to move you through whatever. So even though there are things out there, and yes, is there a collective heaviness on the planet? Yes, it is. We as light workers have to remember, do we fall into that? No, we don't. We know what's going on. And we are the ones that do not fall into that trap, but we vibe high. We say, okay, this is going to pass, but I'm not going to go into the entropy of going down into this dark hole. No, I understand what it is. You can't get me. I'm going to start to pray. I'm going to start to think of the things I'm grateful for. I'm going to start to say I'm in a neutral observer. I'm going to allow this to pass. I'm going to move on, however that works for you. The goal is not to get caught up in a very specific agenda that wants to keep you down. Okay, and I would say too, for light workers in particular, we need to be alert and aware and extremely discerning, because what? We're bringing the light, and there may be some agendas that are not too happy about that. But hey, if you remember who you are, and I've always say that, if you remember who you are and what you're connected to, you're fearless. And when you know that, and you keep your armor of God nice and shiny and bright, you don't fall into those things. You don't. And if you do, you're able to come right out of it. And when you're part of a tribe, if somebody temporarily forgets that, you have the tribe that says, don't you remember who we are? Put that crown back on your head and keep on strutting. That's what happens. And that's what we're here to do. So be understanding that how things are now, in the world, there is this energy that is very oppressive. And the goal could be to want to keep you depressed. And that's the path of least resistance. And the Divine Mother said, you're going to need the centropy. You're going to have to fight for the centropy, right? So as opposed to falling into that, you said, okay, I'm not feeling grateful, this day. But the next day, you have to remember, no, I'm going to do whatever I need to do, affirmations, visualizations, prayers, mantras, whatever, to raise the frequency back up and hold it. That's our job. That's our job, because the more of us that can hold the frequency, the high vibe frequency, we not only impact ourselves in that we are not going to fall prey to as many traps that are out there to pull us down, but we're going to be the ones to help pull everybody else up. That's it. And the more that we do it, and the more we trigger other people to do it, and the more they do it, and so on, okay, it's going to be a collective. And I'm going to tell you, as dim as things may see out there, I see the sparks of light. I see the sparks of light that said, oh, no, I know what's going on. I know this program, and I'm not buying into it because I have a higher program. That's the program I'm going to go. And I have my tribe, my light tribe that knows what I'm talking about. And together, we're going to lift each other up. And not only do we lift each other up, we lift the entire frequency of the planet as well, and all of her life. So with that, I'm going to say namaste, beautiful family of light. We will see you next time. Namaste.